It's the ownage, bitches.
Never die. Never run out of ammo. Reach hidden levels. Never, ever lose. Today we'll be taking a look at the GameShark Pro video game enhancement device for Nintendo 64 by Interact Accessories.
Cheating devices don't seem to be as big as they used to in this day and age. This is probably due to the fact that the latest video game systems are more secure and more difficult to develop unauthorized modifications for. If you're not familiar with cheat devices, let me fill you in. Cheat devices have been around since the original Nintendo. The devices are always made by third-party companies and are never endorsed by the video game company who makes the system. With cartridge-based games, the device would sit between the console and the game. In today's world, a cheat device usually comes in the form of a USB stick. Older cheat devices were rather simple. They had you enter codes manually each time the system was turned on. A book was provided that contained codes for a number of games. Codes for newer games would often be released in gaming magazines such as Tips and Tricks. Today you can find GameShark codes basically anywhere on the internet. Fast forward to the Nintendo 64. The GameShark Pro provides many enhancements and features over older generation cheat devices, such as preloaded codes, memory card manager, PC connectivity, and tools to make your own cheats. I don't have the original box for the GameShark Pro, but I do have an older version that's new in box for comparison. Here's the GameShark Pro. The first thing I noticed is the plastic casing feels rather cheap when compared to the plastic found on normal N64 cartridges. The black casing has some silver speckles in the mold that makes it look special. This version of the GameShark is version 3.2. The front of the device has a LED number display, which shows the status of certain events. There's a button on the right side that is used to activate the GameShark's menu when the game is still running. It is also sometimes used to activate a particular cheat when pressed. This particular model has a parallel port on the back, which can connect to your computer, but more on that later. The GameShark's main menu has a few options: Start Game, Select Cheat Codes, Options, Key Codes, and Memory Card Manager. One thing I like about the GameShark is the device comes preloaded with codes. Selecting cheat codes using the interface is much easier and faster than inputting codes every time you turn the device on. You can add your own cheats to the device, which is saved to the internal memory. I've had the GameShark Pro since the late 90s, and all the cheats I've added are still there. Adding cheats to the device is simple, but it is a slow process. This is not a fault with the device though, as it has to do with the fact that you're manually typing in the codes using the D-pad on your N64 controller. It is possible to add your own cheats to the device by connecting to a computer and using the SharkLink software. If your computer doesn't have a parallel port, you can buy a USB to parallel port converter online. The ability to make your own codes is pretty neat, and can be quite intimidating for the beginner. As a simple test, let's try and make an infinite lives code for Super Mario 64. I know this cheat already exists, but I want to demonstrate how a code is created. First, load the game without any codes enabled and make sure Code Generator is enabled. Now take note on what you want to change on the screen. Now press the GameShark button and select Code Generator. Then perform a known value search of 4. After the search completes, we find that there are far too many possibilities. We must increase our search further to find the code that we want. The best way to do this is to lose a life and then run the search again. After losing a life, press the GameShark button and click equal to, and type 3. Our search is narrowed down, but it's still not enough. You may have to perform the search multiple times until you get a small amount of results. When you have less than 5 possibilities, I say that it's safe to go from there. There we go, we found our code. You will need the 4 MB expansion pack in order to use the code generator. Key codes are used to boot certain games that won't boot naturally with the GameShark. To use a key code, simply boot the GameShark with any game that normally works with the device. Once you're on the main menu, select key codes. Choose the key code for the game that you want to boot next. Just a warning though, don't select a key code for a game that you don't own. The GameShark will not function until it powers on with the game that you've selected. An unexpected feature was the ability to manage memory cards. This was useful for copying saved game data between other cards that I owned, or with friends. The amount of blocks provided with many N64 memory cards never seemed to be enough. Using the memory card manager, I could easily transfer certain game saves to other memory cards to better utilize the space. Do I recommend the GameShark Pro video game enhancement device? The answer is absolutely. Even if you're not into cheating, this device is extremely useful to have. The problem I've noticed lately is my memory cards are starting to become corrupt. There's nothing worse than booting up your favorite game to realize all your unlocked game content is gone due to a corrupt memory card. The GameShark device can easily unlock all game content quickly by enabling a couple of cheat codes. For example, the other day I wanted to play Beetle Adventure Racing multiplayer with my sister, but the memory card with all the levels unlocked became corrupt. It would have taken a very long time to unlock all these levels again if it wasn't for the GameShark device. I was able to locate the game in the list, highlight the multiplayer arenas, and start the game. It took less than 1 minute to unlock all the levels, whereas it would have taken hours playing through the game normally.
Adventure Racing!
The GameShark can also breathe new life into games that you may have gotten bored with by allowing you to play them in different ways. Banjo-Kazooie, for example, has a cheat code where you can press L to levitate. That can change the way you play the game. Using this cheat, you can actually grab the hidden ice key that was supposed to be used for stop and swap. If you decide to grab a GameShark, I recommend finding the latest version. There were many versions of the GameShark released during its lifespan. I believe version 3.3 is the latest. The easiest way to figure out if it's one of the later versions without turning it on is the addition of the parallel port on the back. I believe that was added in version 3.2.
Those are just my thoughts on the GameShark Pro video game enhancement device for your Nintendo 64 by Interact Accessories. I hope that you found this video useful, and we'll see you next time.